Have you ever felt like you don't know where to start with getting your life together or like adulting? I've been there a lot. In this video, I want to share with you 6 books that helped me adult. Now, I wish that I would have read them all in one go when I was like 18 years old, but some of them weren't out then, and of course there's not often a one-stop shop for life advice, so I thought I would go ahead and make this video for you. Welcome back to Fine Print for Life. If this is your first time here, I'm Monique, and on this channel we talk about things that we don't normally learn about in school. Now, if this is not your first time here and you are a subscriber, I must apologize because I missed my first weekend posting since March, and I do have a really good excuse for that. I am sorry for the absence, but I adopted George last weekend, and it has been, an adjustment to make sure that George is as comfortable as possible, and that our other dog Rupert, is adjusting well to George being here. And so that's where I have been, but I'm back, never fear, and I'm hoping to get some videos in a queue so that I don't have a missed week again, because I felt really, really bad about it. The first book that I want to share with you is called You Are Here by Thich Nhat, and he is a Buddhist monk. And this book is just really, really wonderful in helping you learn how to be more mindful and live in the present moment. So this was really helpful to me because I would tend to dwell on the past. I would be obsessed with things that happened years ago, or I would get involved in kind of work dramas. I remember there was a job that I was at for almost 2 years, and almost the entire time I spent obsessing about how awful my boss was to me. So instead of freeing my mind to do something productive and useful outside of work, I would spend all this time complaining about him, and it did me no good. Shortly after that, I did a 10-day vow of silence. It was a silent meditation retreat where you can't talk, you can't look at anybody, you don't read, you don't do anything except for meditate for like 8 hours a day. During that time, I really learned to look inward. This book is a good start to some of what I learned on my own meditation retreat, which was not affiliated with the kind of meditation retreat that this person does. But anyway, my point is that there's a lot of really useful information in this book about being more mindful and focusing on yourself, focusing inward, right? That's what meditation teaches you to do. It teaches you to look on the inside. And once you've kind of gotten your inner stuff sorted out and observed your mental patterns and things that you're thinking and what you're obsessed with and what you're attached to, it's so freeing because you no longer get caught up in that kind of drama. Sure, drama happens, but I've stopped obsessing about it. Like a few videos ago, I mentioned my neighbor, and 10 years ago, I would have been completely freaked out, more so than I was. I would just be obsessed with that and not obsessed with how I am handling the situation and how I am reacting to it. We all deal with dramas. We all have bad things that happen to us. But at the end of the day, it's how we react and how we behave that really impacts us. Let me know if you want me to go deeper into this book in another video. I'm happy to do so. But just for this video's sake, some questions that he poses are, if you are unable to take care of yourself, how can you take care of anyone else? How can you take care of the person you love? When you are here for yourself, you have reestablished some basic order and peace within yourself. This book is a very helpful tool to just kind of get an overview of mindfulness and understanding yourself. The second book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, is a book about organization and decluttering. However, it is a lot more than that because I feel like it's the foundation for so many things. And when I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I was like, what? This is such a simple process, and it's all about just keeping things that bring you joy or that are actually useful. When I first read the book, I think it was back in 2014 or 15, I had so much stuff, you guys. I was not quite a hoarder, but I had a lot of stuff. And that stuff was accumulated from thrifting, and I had discovered the Goodwill bins. Do you know about the Goodwill bins? It's like the Goodwill outlet where you buy stuff by the pound. And so I had all these clothes and shoes and books and just stuff and art supplies that I was living with that wasn't really bringing me any joy. But because I had gotten it for such a good deal, it was like, yeah, stuff. And once I read the book and started going through her process of decluttering, I felt so much freer. I had a closet full, I had a walk-in closet actually full of clothing, and it didn't really represent any kind of style, and it was also clothing that I had been carrying around for like a decade, plus the new stuff, plus whatever. Even though I had this closet full of clothing and all this stuff, I actually felt really insecure, and I felt really ugly and like just frumpy all the time because the clothes that I was wearing weren't a particular style. They weren't necessarily flattering. They were just cool or represented something I wanted to be, but I wasn't. And I didn't really know how to get a style. And once I decluttered all of the clothes that didn't spark joy anymore, I was left with maybe this much of black and gray clothing mostly. And to this day, most of my wardrobe is black, gray, and I've actually started incorporating some navy blues and denim. And I think I have like one or two white things. But my point is that getting rid of all that stuff gave me so much freedom. Now I only really live with things that I love, and that is also extended to people. I only have people in my life that bring me joy, and I no longer feel obligated to have friendships with people who don't necessarily bring me joy. And it's been really great. So right around the time I finished KonMariing my life, I learned about Dave Ramsey because I wanted to KonMari my debt out of the way. And I kind of just Googled one day how to pay off student loans really fast. And this guy, Dave Ramsey, popped up on YouTube, and I ended up watching all his videos and ordering the Total Money Makeover, which is his book about just that, learning how to deal with your finances. And the thing that I really liked about Dave Ramsey's plans was that it was so simple. In it, he talks about his 7 baby steps and goes into detail on all of them. But I will just tell you quickly about the 7 baby steps because they are very, very useful. So step 1 is to put $1,000 into a starter emergency fund. So for me, before I learned about this concept, I was like, how do you save money? It was just so abstract to me. And just this exercise of saving $1,000 was so incredibly helpful. And since I learned about it and was able to save up that $1,000, I've never not had $1,000 in my account, which for me is kind of a miracle, because before that I was so bad with money, like so bad. And baby step 2 is paying off all your debt using the debt snowball. So the debt snowball is when you pay off your debts from smallest to largest, versus the debt avalanche, which is when you pay off all your debts based on the interest rate. So you pay off the highest interest rate and go down to the lowest. For me, doing the debt snowball, which I had never heard of before, was so much easier. And it made more sense to me and was more helpful to me. Maybe I ended up paying some more interest in the end, I don't know. But honestly, I paid off the debt, and it, like looking at it line by line from smallest to largest kind of task, it was the most helpful thing for me. Baby step 3 is you go back and you save up 3 to 6 months of your emergency fund. So that's what I'm on right now. Baby step 4 is to max out your retirement accounts. Baby step 5 is to begin college funding for your kids. Baby step 6 is pay off your home early, and baby step 7 is build wealth and give. For me, this basic roadmap of dealing with my finances was amazing. And I am really, really happy that I learned about Dave Ramsey. I've mentioned these 2 books before while we're on the topic of money, and this one is Your Money or Your Life. And there's so much good stuff in here. This book is about transforming your relationship with money and changing the way you look at money. And for me, the most striking takeaway from this book was looking at money as life energy. Before, I used to just think, oh, I go to work and I get paid and there's always going to be money coming in and da da da. And in this book, she talks about the money that comes in, you are trading for your life energy. Like, our life is a really precious thing, and we only have so many hours on this earth. And when we work, we are trading that for money. Now, when I think about ordering takeout or spending it frivolously on something, I think, do I really want to trade 3 hours of my life for this, or 1 hour of my life, or 30 minutes of my life? I'm looking at my money in terms of my life and the hours that I spent earning that money. That has really curbed my spending, and not just curbed it, but like I don't even have the desire to spend a lot of this money that I normally would have. So that's really helpful. I've talked about this book before, and I feel like a lot of people who I follow also love this book, and it is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It was written way back in the day. I want to say 1937. And it's almost like this precursor to The Secret. If you've seen that documentary or read that book, it's about the law of attraction. And this book specifically is about thinking and growing rich, but you can also translate it to the law of attraction, which is the rule that our universe is governed by, right? We attract what we think about. Our thoughts become reality. But that book, not only is it about money, it's about mindset, and it's about really visualizing things and understanding that, hey, if I put my mind to it, if I visualize something, I can set goals and eventually achieve that which I desire. Think and Grow Rich is really, really great foundationally for just knowing that there's so much you can do and the potential is unlimited. We need to dream bigger, and we need to know that when we put our minds to something, we can do it, okay? Like, we've put people on the moon, we've done all kinds of crazy things. And I wish that I would have known so many years ago that if I thought something, if I focused on it, it will be done. Like, instead of wasting time focusing on dramas or petty things, it is so important to know that you attract what you put out there, and you can achieve your goals if you really, really visualize and focus on them. Things will fall into place because you will create momentum, and you will create situations where things will happen for you. The final book that I have for you is a great one if you can't figure out what you want to do. This book is called Designing Your Life, and it's by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, and they are designers and engineers who, one of them worked for Apple. It's a really, really great guide to kind of figuring out what kind of career would be good for you. And so many of us kind of graduate high school or graduate college and we're like, we don't know what to do. Maybe we were more artistic at one point, so we thought we should study art, or maybe we were more math minded and thought we would love a job in finance. The real world experience of jobs is not necessarily what we understand them to be, and this book is great because it has exercises to gauge what brings you into a state of flow. What are you really gonna want to do for 40 hours a week? And I feel like it's, if you're just starting out, or even if you're not just starting out and you don't know what to do with your life, this is a great book to go through, do the exercises, and you can kind of see, okay, so maybe this career might be interesting, but do I really want to spend all this time doing this or that? It's a very helpful book. For example, when I was going through college, I thought because I had grown up internationally that I would want to work at an international job, but I didn't really know what that meant, and there were so many directions I could have gone in, and I ended up going into trade policy, which was so not the right fit for me. And while I did okay at that job, it did not energize me, and it was just like, whoa. And I ended up quitting and running off to art school. Had I read a book like that, then I might have saved myself 2 years. If you ever want me to go through this book with you, I would love to. We could maybe go through some of the exercises together. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. That's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.